The Black Grail has been victorious thus far in the campaign, not only against the Iron Sultanate, but against the Court of Seven as well. With the Infernal War Council in splinters, the fighters from the Blade of the Eastern Flame have marched south in an attempt to push back the demonic forces in the area. Forcing Beelzebub's forces to retreat is the utmost importance to the war effort. Welcome back to Trench Crusade, presented by Miniature Game Montage. And welcome back to another Trench Crusade battle report. This time we have a top-of-the-table matchup between the Trench Pilgrims and the Black Grail. The Trench Pilgrims were devastated in their last game against the Heretic Legion. As such, we are canceling their exploration efforts and allowing them to call reinforcements, as that was the correct move to make. The Trench Pilgrims are led by a War Prophet, Rasha. She carries a semi-automatic rifle, anti-tank hammer, reinforced armor, and has the skill Sharp Eyes. Uther is a Castigator with a shotgun, reinforced armor, and trench shield. He carries the glory item, the Donkey's Jawbone, and has the skill and expertise advancement. A Communicant is added back to the roster. It carries a great sword and sword, reinforced armor, and martyrdom pills. Surviving the battle are two Trench Pilgrims with bolt-action rifle. One has a punt gun. Rhea, a Stigmatic Nun, also made it through the last battle. She is equipped with a pistol, sword, standard armor, and Warcross. The Warband also adds an additional Nun with a similar loadout. Two ecclesiastic prisoners join with martyrdom devices, and one additional Trench Pilgrim with a bolt-action rifle. They depart for battle with 11 fighters, totaling 891 ducats. The Black Death arrived to battle with Namla, Lord of Tumors, with Beelzebub's axe, sword, gas grenades, and reinforced armor. He has the skill, range proficiency, and sprinter. Two Plague Knights join him, both with reinforced armor. One carries an infested rifle, Plague Blade, and sword. It has the skills Show Off and Far Shot. Another Plague Knight has gas grenades, Plague Blade, and sword, with the advancements of Knight of the Fly and Sprinter. There are two Corpse Guards. One carries a Plague Blade, gas grenades, and trench shield. The other has a Putrid Shotgun, Black Grail shield, and standard armor. There's also a Herald that was recently promoted with an infested rifle, Compound Eyes helmet. The Warband has two Hounds and a Grail Thrall. With 9 fighters, they depart with a ducat value of 898. Today's scenario is supply raid, and 6 supply tokens dot the board. The attacking Trench Pilgrims will score 1 victory point for each supply crate they destroy. The defending Black Grail will score 2 victory points for each supply crate they protect. At the end of the game, each player will also score 1 victory point for each model taken out of action, and 1 victory point for glorious deeds, which we will discuss as they happen. This scenario also includes reinforcements, which we'll discuss as well. We're scheduled for 4 turns today, and we will be trying to convert everything we've done so far to the 1.0 rules. As always, you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. As turn 1 is upon us, both sides have deployed with fighters on the board and those left behind as reinforcements. The Black Grail has the option for turn 1, and they will play first. We hope you enjoy the story. And we go right into the action as a Herald is moving forward. Will pass a dash to get his infested rifle in range of an ecclesiastic prisoner. He opens fire, but the shot is at minus dice due to cover, and he misses. A Stigmatic Nun is going to activate, moving forward just slightly to the supply crate, and will use an attack to destroy it, scoring a victory point. The Nun also gets +1 to dash, which is good as she moves into the building for cover. The Black Grail activates a Corpse Guard, moving him forward, attempting to dash but failing. That action's risky, and his activation ends. Another nimble Stigmatic Nun is going to move and pass a dash at plus dice to get into cover. A Plague Knight is going to move forward, and this one has Sprinter, and at plus dice, he still fails the dash and his activation ends. The War Prophet, Rasha, is going to get to the top of the trench and open fire at the Herald with her semi-automatic rifle. She lands a hit at plus dice. The injury roll takes the Herald out of action. And a devastating shot from the War Prophet. She begins to play what just happened on her loudspeakers, encouraging her fighters to move forward 3 inches. The loudspeaker ability is resolved at plus dice, and all fighters within 8 inches get a 3-inch move forward. The War Prophet will then attempt to dash, which is successful as she continues to move forward into cover. And the Black Grail, really unfortunate in that exchange. They do send a Plague Knight forward. He passes a dash to move. Up next, a Communicant lumbers forward to a supply cache, swings his greatsword, and scores a victory point. The Communicant also passes a dash to move forward. A Corpse Guard activates next, moves forward with his Putrid Shotgun, but fails to dash and will stay put. The Castigator, Uther, is going to move forward to a supply cache and then attack it, scoring a 3rd victory point for the Trench Pilgrims. He then dashes at plus dice to continue moving up the board. And as he climbs to the top of the trench line, he sees one of the Corpse Guard and opens fire with his shotgun. He is at plus dice to hit and does get a hit, but the injury roll is at -2. The Corpse Guard suffers a blood marker in the exchange. Next up, the Lord of Tumors, Namla, is going to move. He successfully dashes, as he does have Sprinter getting plus dice. He then lobs a gas grenade at Uther, which lands a hit. With the injury roll at minus dice, Uther does suffer 2 blood markers. Seeing this, an ecclesiastic prisoner is called forward. A dash at plus dice will be failed, however. Across the board, another prisoner moves, this time passing the dash and getting to the bottom of the trench line. And as the curtains draw on turn 1, you may be thinking the Trench Pilgrims got 3 easy victory points there, and while that is true, the defenders still control 3 of the other supply objectives. That gives them 6 victory points in total. The Black Grail, extremely unfortunate in this opening turn, as double 6s were rolled to take the Herald out of action. Turn 2 is coming up next. The Black Grail will be up first. And reinforcements did arrive on the board for the Trench Pilgrims, as 3 of their Trench Pilgrims come on. 2 of the Plague Hounds come on for the Black Grail. And the turn starts out with the Lord of Tumors launching another gas grenade at Uther, which hits and causes 2 more blood markers. He then charges into contact with Uther in a charge that he really can't fail. Beelzebub's axe comes down with crushing force, landing a hit against Uther. The blow sends Uther crashing to the ground as Namla swings his sword with an offhand, landing another hit, and then using Bloodbath. And also using all blood markers and infection markers to take Uther out of the battle. The deadly Lord of Tumors then passes a dash with his Sprinter ability as he protects the objective. Now we move over to the Trench Pilgrims, where an ecclesiastic prisoner really wants to ruin someone's day. He does fail a dash at plus dice. This allows a Corpse Guard to activate next as he moves to the top of the trench line and can see a Stigmatic Nun through the window and lobs a gas grenade, landing a hit. The injury roll at minus dice will be 2 blood markers. The Corpse Guard then attempts to dash, but he fails. As the Stigmatic Nun activates, would convert a blood marker to a blessing. As she moves forward, she attempts to dash to get her climb. The dash is successful, but she attempts a risky action to climb, and it fails at plus dice. The Black Grail then activate a Hound. He's at plus dice to dash as well as he zooms towards the back of the battlefield. The War Prophet then moves forward, opens fire with her semi-auto rifle at plus dice, landing a hit. The injury roll is at minus dice to the tune of nothing. As she plays her loudspeakers, that is successful at plus dice and allows fighters to move forward 3 inches. And while she has a failed dash attempt, a Plague Hound has no problem passing his dash as he zooms across the board. Up next, a Communicant is going to take a risky action to dash first to get in line of sight of the Corpse Guard. That is good, and he charges into battle. He swings his mighty greatsword at plus dice, barely landing a hit against the Corpse Guard. The weapon offsets Undead Fortitude. He uses 2 blood markers to go plus dice, and he sends the Corpse Guard crashing down. Now attacking with his offhand sword, he lands another hit, and using the blood marker, takes the Corpse Guard out of action. The center of the board is highly contested as a Plague Knight fires his infested rifle into a Stigmatic Nun, landing a hit. The injury roll is just a blood marker, however. As a note, this Nun should have 2 blood markers and a blessing. We'll fix this in a bit. Trench Pilgrims begin to activate from reinforcements, but a failed dash here ends the activation. Next up, a Corpse Guard is on the move with his putrid shotgun as he targets the ecclesiastic prisoner, getting plus dice on the shot, landing a hit. The injury roll is going to cause an infection marker as the Corpse Guard is going to dash to get back into cover. Another Trench Pilgrim moves forward, passing a dash, as a Plague Knight is going to pop his head out and lob a gas grenade, landing a hit at plus dice. The injury roll at minus dice, however, just results in 2 blood markers. He's targeting that ecclesiastic prisoner and will pass a dash to move back out of line of sight. Another Trench Pilgrim is going to activate and dash as he moves to the top of the trench line. Up next, the Sigmatic Nun is going to attempt to dash first to get into charge range of the Corpse Guard. That is successful at plus dice. The first thing she does is chucks a Warcross, which is going to hit. The injury roll at minus dice will do a blood marker as she charges into combat, and she cannot fail here. She swings her sword, lands a hit at plus dice. The injury roll at minus dice, however, will do another blood marker to the Corpse Guard. She then fires her pistol and misses at plus dice. Next up, an ecclesiastic prisoner will activate, passing a dash as he gets next to the communicant, trying to get in range of Namla. And with turn 2 in the books, the Lord of Tumors causing chaos in the opening sequence, taking down the castigator Uther. The center of the board is getting really contested. The score remains unchanged as the defender still has 6 while the attackers still only have 3. If the attackers can get one more supply crate, the score will be even, and then it will come down to who kills the most models to claim victory today. Turn 3 priority will stay with the Black Grail, and the Lord of Tumors is activating again, chucking a gas grenade at the communicant. The shot hits, injury rolls are at minus dice, only causes 1 blood marker to the communicant as he ignores gas. The ecclesiastic prisoner also caught up in the blast. The injury result for the prisoner is down, and he also takes 2 blood markers due to gas as Namla now charges into battle. It's big on big as he swings Beelzebub's axe, landing a hit. Martyrdom pills are offset by the weapon at plus dice, and it will be an out-of-action result, but the communicant is tough. The Lord of Tumors swings with his sword as an offhand, landing another hit. He blows the blood marker to go plus dice on the injury roll, but it does not work out in his favor. The communicant now has 2 blood markers on him. Next, the Stigmatic Nun attempts to strike the Corpse Guard with her sword, but misses, then fires her pistol, lands a hit, just barely. She blows the 2 blood markers to go plus dice, but it does not work. The Black Grail then activates a Plague Knight. He takes a shot at the Nun with his infested rifle, but he is going to miss. The Plague Knight then moves to protect the objective, attempts to pass a dash, but will fail. An ecclesiastic prisoner with a martyrdom device is going to move, and he is going to pass a dash at plus dice. The next Plague Knight has Sprinter, gets +1 to his dash as he is going to attempt to dash up the wall. That risky action is successful. The Plague Knight then charges into the Nun in a charge that he can't fail. He swings his Plague Blade, getting a critical, +1 dice to the injury roll as he causes an infection marker. The Plague Knight then misses with his offhand sword. It's now the communicant's turn as he fights with his great sword, landing a hit against the Lord of Tumors. While he does remove a blood marker from himself, he does not cause any damage. The communicant then attacks with his offhand sword, landing a hit, and at minus dice, he sends the Lord of Tumors down. As the middle of the board is very contested, in the backfield a Plague Hound is going to move and dash. And with the Lord of Tumors off the objective, a Stigmatic Nun will convert another blood marker to a blessing, now has 1 blood marker and 2 blessings as she moves up to the weapon's cache and destroys it for a victory point. And this will bring the game level as we move to another Plague Hound, going to dash at plus dice and fail. The War Prophet uses this opportunity to charge into Namla, in a charge that she can't fail. She swings her mighty anti-tank hammer and lands a hit, getting +1 on the injury roll from the target being down, and she does blow tough on the Lord of Tumors. She then casts Lay on Hands to heal a wound off the ecclesiastic prisoner. On the other side of the board, a corpse guard is going to retreat as the nun attacks with her sword, landing a hit, but once again at minus dice, unable to take the corpse guard down. The corpse guard successfully retreats out of combat and points his putrid shotgun at the ecclesiastic prisoner and opens fire, landing a hit. And blowing all infection and blood markers, he takes the ecclesiastic prisoner out of battle. The corpse guard attempts to dash, but fails. Trench Pilgrims continue to move up the board, dashing where they can. A Grail Thrall does the same, but fails, as Trench Pilgrims continue to move and either passing or failing their dashes. And turn 3 draws to a close, and we are all level as the Trench Pilgrims have destroyed 4 supply caches, giving them 4 victory points, but the defending Black Grail still control 2, giving them 4 victory points as well. As we look to turn 4, if the attackers can destroy 1 more cache, they can take the victory. If not, we will go to the kill count to decide our victor for today. Factions can also get victory points for completing glorious deeds in this one, turn 4, coming up next. And the Black Grail still control the initiative. Namla is going to attack first as he gets to his feet. Beelzebub's axe lands a critical into the communicant, and the communicant is going to be taken out of action. His offhand weapon is then swung at the War Prophet, landing another hit. At plus dice on the injury roll, she is okay. Across the board, the Trench Pilgrims are going for victory as the Stigmatic Nun attempts to disengage, but the Plague Knight will get swings at her and lands a hit with his Plague Blade. Using the infection marker, his swing is true, and it is enough to take her out of action. And the Stigmatic Nun, with plans to disengage, leaping down to destroy the supply cache, has been foiled. Up next, a Plague Hound will dash first at plus dice. This gets the ecclesiastic prisoner into charge range. He swings at plus dice, but misses. And now our focus turns just beside them to the War Prophet as she swings her anti-tank hammer, which is a risky action. She is at plus dice, and 3 ones will end her activation. In a nearby building, a Plague Knight is going to move and successfully dash to the window as he can now see the Stigmatic Nun from elevation. He's going to take a shot with his infested rifle, but miss. It was at this moment the ecclesiastic prisoner decided to detonate the martyrdom device. The prisoner is immediately killed, but the Plague Hound does not suffer any damage. The Lord of Tumors is going to get a blood marker, while the War Prophet alongside them is going to suffer a down result. And a big risk did not pay off as a corpse guard now moves forward. He's going to pass a dash and then fire his infested rifle at the Stigmatic Nun, landing a hit. Blood markers and blessings are used. The injury rolls at minus dice. It's just a blood marker. The nun then announces a charge into Namla, and a charge that she cannot fail. She swings her sword and lands a hit. The result is another blood marker as she fires her pistol, and this time electing to use all 5 blood markers after landing a hit. She takes the Lord of Tumors out of action. She is not done yet as she chucks a War Cross at the Plague Hound, landing a hit, but is unable to take him down. Up next, a Plague Knight is going to move forward. He is going to successfully dash. He is then going to chuck a gas grenade, but miss. And both Trench Pilgrim fighters very lucky they are not to get hit by that gas grenade, as a Trench Pilgrim does move forward with a bolt-action rifle. He takes a shot at the Plague Hound, but he is going to miss. Another Plague Hound is going to move on to the objective. As the game starts to come to a close, a Trench Pilgrim with a punt gun is going to take a shot, and he lands a critical into the Plague Hound and takes the Plague Hound out of battle. And it has been a messy affair as we see a few remaining actions take place, but they have no impact on the bearing of this game. It is coming to a close. The Trench Pilgrims have destroyed 4 weapons caches, giving them 4 victory points, but the defenders still control 2 of them, giving them 4 victory points as well. The Trench Pilgrims took down a total of 4 fighters, giving them 4 victory points, while the Black Grail took down 5, giving them 5 victory points. However, the Trench Pilgrims were able to complete a glorious deed by destroying a supply cache, and that is going to make our score level. This game will end in a draw. Both of these factions will still remain at the top of the table. Let's go to the post-game, where the Trench Pilgrims, everyone made a full recovery except for the 2 ecclesiastic prisoners, which died. Over for the Black Grail, everyone was able to make a full recovery except for a corpse guard. He became hardened, while the Herald is going to require expensive treatment. In promotions and advancements, the Trench Pilgrims did not get any, while the Black Grail had a corpse guard that will get skill and expertise. In exploration, the Trench Pilgrims rolled an 11 and found a trade merchant, taking the 2 glory and getting 110 ducats. The Black Grail, they rolled up for a ruined house. In this house, they found the armor of the Fly, which can give one of their fighters wings. They will take home 80 ducats today, and we will prepare for the next game. Hey, really hope you enjoyed this battle report for Trench Crusade. Supporters Club, your names are on the screen now. Really appreciate your support. That is by no means necessary. I always say if you've watched the video this far, you've done more than enough to support the channel, so thank you so much. We will see you in the next one. Take care.